This presentation is our annual update on student performance on state assessments and our progress towards our 5-year strategic planning goals for student learning. This presentation and slides will be posted on our district website. Highlights from the 24-25 school year include the following. In ELA, English Language Arts, our 6th graders set a new high with a 66% passing rate. On the Math NJSLA, across all grades, we had our highest ever percentage of passing scores. In 11th grade, we had our highest ever passing rate for the Math Graduation Assessment, the NJGPA. Our multilingual students in our ESL program had their best performance on the Access test. The first part of our presentation will cover our English Language Arts performance for the 24-25 school year. This table shows how our students in grades 1 through 6 performed based on their reading levels since the beginning of our strategic plan. As you can see, we made significant gains over the past 5 years in the number of students reading on or above grade level according to TC Running Records. We attribute much of this growth to the implementation of multisensory phonics instruction in grades K through 3 using Foundations and Phonics First, in addition to targeted small group instruction in all of our classrooms. Students in grades 3 through 5 surpassed state averages on NJSLA. Our students continue to make gains as compared to their performance on the prior year's test. For example, our 4th graders reached 66% proficiency, which is 7% higher than the same students performed when they were in 3rd grade.
Our 6th grade scores improved from the prior spring by 7%. This was our highest ever percentage of students passing in 6th grade. Our 9th graders continue to outperform the state. Included in this presentation are data displays illustrating achievement levels, with the first 3 bars in each group representing the percentage of students who did not yet meet proficiency standards to varying degrees, and the last 2 bars, shaded in green, representing those that did meet or exceed proficiency standards. Across all grades, 66% of students met or exceeded proficiency standards in ELA last year. Here's performance across racial subgroups, disaggregated by gender, and performance of students by program, including free or reduced lunch, 504, English Language Learner or ML status, special education, and general education. This data display illustrates performance in specific grade levels over time. Of particular note are 4th and 6th graders' spike in performance this past year. This shows performance for the same group of students from last year to this year. Of note is the jump in performance from 6th to 7th grade in ELA last year. These are our current 8th graders. The New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment, NJGPA, is a required graduation test for all 11th graders. 94% of our students met the requirement in ELA, surpassing the state by 13%. This slide shows our NJGPA passing rates broken down by race over the last 3 years. Data is not displayed where we have less than 10 students in a group for privacy requirements. This slide shows our NJGPA passing rates broken down by program, including free or reduced lunch, 504, English Language Learner or ML status, special education, and general education. On the PSAT, Preliminary Scholastic Aptitude Test, our high school students continue to outperform the state. Of particular note, our 11th graders increased their passing percentage by 14% from the previous year. Here are our SAT results for 11th and 12th grade. We outperformed the state by 24%. We have made tremendous growth in achievement as a district and aspire to continuously strengthen our performance. Our Year 5 strategic planning goals in English Language Arts are noted here. And here are some of the ways in which we have and will continue to support students and staff in ELA via professional development and resource allocation.
The The second part of our presentation will cover our math performance for the 24-25 school year. All of our elementary students outperformed the state between 10 and 17%.
At the middle school, 6th grade scores improved by 13% from the prior year, setting a new high for this grade. 7th and 8th graders continue to outperform the state, with 98% of Algebra 1 8th graders meeting or exceeding proficiency standards. Algebra 1 students continue to outperform the state, and the geometry group at JCHS demonstrated a 14% improvement over the prior year to set a new all-time high. For the NJGPA, 82% of our students met the proficiency requirement for math, setting a new all-time high. This slide shows our math NJGPA passing rates broken down by race over the last 3 years, and by program. We continue to outperform the state on the PSAT. Again, the 11th grade class showed great growth, outperforming the previous year by 12%. For the math SAT, we outperformed the state by 15%. These charts mirror those demonstrated for ELA, but include 24-25 math performance data. This chart illustrates student achievement levels by grade and performance across racial subgroups, disaggregated by gender, and performance of students by program, including free or reduced lunch, 504, English language learner or ML status, special education, and general education. This data display illustrates performance in specific grade levels over time. Of particular note, our 6th and geometry 9th graders spike in performance this past year. As a district, we've gained 8% more students passing over the last 4 years. This shows performance for the same group of students from last year to this year. Of note is a jump in performance from 6th to 7th grade in math last year. These are our current 8th graders. Our Year 5 strategic plan goals for math are noted here. And our PD and resources dedicated to math improvement are listed on this slide. This next part of our presentation will cover our science performance for the 24-25 school year. CWC outperformed the state across all schools and grades. These tests are designed to measure the science standards for students covered that year and those preceding it. The link on this slide has more information about this assessment. Here are science displays illustrating achievement levels, performance across racial subgroups, disaggregated by gender, and performance of students by programs, including free or reduced lunch, 504, English language learner or ML status, special education, and general education. And here are some of the resources and strategies we are using to support student achievement in science. At JCHS, students also take AP exams in May at the conclusion of their AP classes. These tests are scored from a 1 to 5, and a score of a 3 or better is considered passing. By passing an AP class, students can earn college credits for free. Last spring, we had our most students ever receiving a 3 or better on their AP test. Here's a 5-year summary of our performance. We had more AP students and AP exams taken than ever.
Finally, these last slides provide information about achievement on assessments for multilingual learners and students eligible for the dynamic learning assessments. Each year, MLs take the Access test to measure their growth in listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Scores range across 6 levels. We had our greatest number and percentage of students passing the test, with which means they have reached levels of English proficiency that enable them to be eligible to exit from our ESL program. This slide shows our students' performance in each grade band and across the whole district over the last 3 years. Note the larger sections of high scores, the green sections, for each group. Here is the performance across racial subgroups, disaggregated by gender, and performance of students by programs, including free or reduced lunch and special education.
The Dynamic Learning Map, DLM, is administered to students with significant cognitive disabilities for whom state assessments are not appropriate. Score ranges are referenced here, and individual student reports are mailed home to parents and guardians. This concludes our annual fall assessment presentation for the 24-25 school year. Please feel free to reach out to your child's principal for any questions. We thank our students, staff, Board of Education, and families for all the support that led to last year's growth and achievement.